Welcome back to another video, size viewers. Today's video is the part 2 of how to create your models that I did about a couple of weeks ago. Guys, I want to go ahead and sincerely apologize for that. That took me a little bit while to get to. I was undergoing some things in my personal life, doing my own things, and also trying to create content to build my watch hours for YouTube. And that's what I was kind of focusing on, and also DeviantArt. But I know that this was another video that you guys have been waiting for and asking me to do, so I want to go ahead and take the time to give you guys a step-by-step instruction on how exactly to convert models for size box so that you'll be able to create your own stories in a manner that is creative and follows in line with what I do. Now, you can do it whatever you want, but I do want to make another short video after this to show you how exactly to follow YouTube's guidelines and some of the things that you're going to want to watch out for. So this video is going to be a little bit longer than normal. I don't like putting out long videos on my channel, but because of the nature of how to convert videos, how to convert the models into the software, you guys are going to need to follow everything I do from here on out. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Now, the first thing that you are going to do is you're going to click Vroid Studio, and you're going to if you have not had that already installed, I want you to go ahead and do so. I'm going to put it in the link in the description, and you're going to follow basically just install it onto your computer and just have the app ready to be used. Now, as you can see here, I have my models that you've seen in my previous stories. Some of them were test models, some of them were just examples. There are a lot more models that I haven't shown you, but they're here. Now, you can go from choosing from female to masculine characters, whether it be a woman or a boy, and we're going to choose female for now, just to give you guys an example of how to use Vroid. Vroid, guys, is the easiest thing you could ever use, and you will see how easy it is as I design this character right here. Now, we're going to design her, and we're going to go ahead and just kind of mess around here and just have you guys be able to see what exactly I'm doing here. I'm going to walk it through every single step. You can choose her face sets, which is basically her face design. You can choose her different templates that you can add to her character. And as you can see, each face set comes with its own eye sets, eyebrows, and everything else. We're also going to choose the kind of eye sclera that she's going to have. You see how the different shapes that you can mess around with? And now if you look on the right side, you can also see that you can mess around with the parameters. So what you're seeing there is just base templates that you can do, that you can mess around with. And it's the same thing with her irises, right? You can be able to choose different irises. You can change the color of her eyes. You'll be able to also mess around with different features of her body and do as you so please. Now, basically, what you're seeing me here doing is just messing around here. And that's just to give you an example of all sorts of different types of customizations that you can do with these characters. You can go beyond with just what they have for defaulted, and you can even buy textures to add to her eyes. Now, these are default eyes. These are the eyes that come with the Vroid itself. And if you look on the top left, you can see the custom, and that's where you can go and buy textures and import them to be able to add to the character's design. Now, this is just sclera. I typically just choose white, and you can mess around with the eyebrows here. Do all sorts of stuff here, as you guys can see here what I'm doing. And you can choose the inner eyelids, all sorts of that. And it's not a timely process. It's just that it's simple, but it could be timely depending on what specific attributes you want for your character. Like, you can change the color of everything. Every single texture on these models, you can alter the color, you can remove, you can change. You can do all sorts of things to design your character the way you would like it. Like, for example, you can see me here messing around with her nose. You can make her nose big, you can make her nose short. You could do whatever it is that makes you feel more comfortable with your Vroid model. And again, it's your character, it's your design, and you can choose the mouth. You can also buy different types of mouth templates off of the booth, which is where Vroid is located. And then this is for the mouth inside. As you're going to see here, I'm going to open up her mouth. You can see within her mouth, you can choose a texture for her mouth. I chose a custom one that I bought from Booth. and I'm going to go ahead and apply it there. That was one that I had purchased on the create new, and then you just apply her texture. Then I'm going to close her mouth, and then I'm going to move on to the next design of her character. So you can also choose her lips. You can choose the color on using the RGB scroll wheel, or you can purchase the custom design lips that you can also on the side there. So this is just to give you guys a little idea of what Vroid is. You can see how you can mess around with her lips. You can make them thick, you can make them skinny. You can also make her upper lip and lower lip bigger here. You can kind of just go ahead and just check around on that design here. And you can see how I'm just examining what this character is going to look like. You know, you can look at every single detail here. And then you can add blush to her cheeks, which is part of that template there. You can go to change the color. I usually put it on red, obviously, because people blush, they look red. And there you go. Each, you may not be able to see it in the design, but you could also choose different types of textures on her skin. So you see how she's just white. You could also kind of make her a little bit beige a little bit. And you could also put freckles. Like I've added freckles on some of my characters. These are textures that you can purchase and that you can use onto your characters. Now that's just face paint. I don't really use face paint. It looks a little bit silly. So you could get your own custom designs, or you could make them. That's true. You could make your own face paint and add it to your character. Now, this is my favorite part, is where you can customize a character's hair, and you can, generally speaking, do whatever it is. You know, you could use the templated designs that they have in Vroid, and then you could also purchase. You could also actually, believe it or not, you could actually create a different bounce to her hair. This is how, with the hair, this is how you can also create tails for your characters. So, but that in itself is kind of complex. It's a little bit hard and it takes a little bit of knowledge of 3D modeling for you to be able to create a tail for your character or various other things as such. Now, what you're seeing here is me being able to just mess around with the different types of hairstyles here. Forgive me for my phone going off here. I'm just going ahead and just reading off for you guys. And just be able to choose the back, overall hair. You can choose the types of hair designs that you want your character. It gives you a lot of leeway of what you want for your character's hair designs. Now, you may think it's limited, but you could, again, with money, buy more textures. Everything that you're going to see in the entire Vroid, these are all default type styles that you can choose from, but you could also buy more if you have the money, of course. And let me tell you guys, it's really cheap. You're talking about maybe like $4 to $5 for a texture. It's not expensive at all. Or maybe even less than that in most cases. So, you see here, I'm just changing the color of the design here. And being able to just move everything around. And just move each and every single design. And we're going to go ahead. You can edit her hair bounce and hairstyle if you want to go further. And that's for those of you who do have a little bit of extra knowledge of 3D modeling. I have some form of knowledge of 3D modeling, but not all that much, to be honest. And then you see that base hair in the back there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change that color by using the little marker, and I'm going to blend it within the back. And then from here, I'm going to go to her body. Those are templated designs that I have for different characters. I can reuse textures if I need to put like freckles, like I've told you earlier, put like a mole on her face, maybe so, or maybe like a cut. Whatever design you want to add, you can do these things. And that's what's awesome about these customizations. So you can see the little designs there. Now we're going to go to her clothes. Well, before I do that, I'm actually gonna fix her body design. I want to show you guys something real quick. And we're gonna go from here. We're gonna adjust her height. We can go and we can make her arm shorter. We can make her chest big. We can reduce the prominence of her chest. Some people have complained that my character's chests are too big. I don't know what to tell you guys. We can adjust her leg length. We could extend her her waist. And if I want her waist bigger than what the parameters allow, you have to type it in yourself. So I'm going to type in 550, hit enter, and it makes her waist a little bit more bigger. Typically, I like characters to have realistic designs and not to be overall extremely skinny. Because, again, most of the women I know personally in my life aren't, super skinny like regular anime characters. So if you notice that my characters and my stories are a little bit more plush, it's mainly because, I want to kind of give them realistic designs to how girls actually look, right? And so you can give her a set of outfits. You can mess around with the outfits, like how the outfit looks. For an example, I can mess around with her waist on the lower back. We can narrow her belt on her side. You want to be sure that when you mess around with those parameters that nothing clips. So that's all up to you on how you do that. Now you see me, I'm messing around with her skirt. I'm making it a little bit tighter, making it wider. I can make it really short if necessary. I can make it longer if necessary. But notice how it's clipping, right? So we want to be able to fix that. We're going to go ahead and reduce that and see how it fixes itself. And then we're going to shorten her skirt a little bit, make it a little bit shorter, make it a little bit tighter, and there you go. It corrects that clipping issue, and we can move on to the next set. You can choose all of these designs and dresses. You can add more, again, by purchasing, as I repeated myself here. And again, you see the issues with the clipping. You got to choose what kind of clothes will fix, and you go into the right parameters to adjust to make sure that it fits within her dress. Because when you port that model, that same issue with the clipping will appear on that model. You see it in the front of the dress. You want to be able to choose the outfit that matches with the model, or you can just fix it through the parameters. So I'm just going to go ahead and mess around here and just show you guys the different kind of things that you can do. You can choose different shirts and outfits here. All sorts of things here. And just be able to just mess around and do all sorts of kinds of fun stuff here. It's really cool. You can choose her bra, her inner bra, her types of the stuff that comes with the model, or you can choose the customs, right? As I have here, I have several templates that I have in design. I also have them in a folder. In the next video, because this video is going to be long, I will show you what exactly to do on how to actually import like underwear and bra. We'll see how YouTube thinks of that, because I'm not too sure if YouTube is going to approve of how I show you guys of her being, kind of nude here. So I'm not going to show you guys her underwear for obvious reasons, but you can choose the kind of underwear that you want to put on your model. And they also obviously have very revealing designs that you could place on her if you wished to do so. So here I'm going to choose that, but I'm not going to actually show you guys that. That way I won't be age restricted. You could choose her socks, her stocking, her different types of designs that she has. You can have her be a bare legs, all sorts of things here. Very free, very open, very easy to use, guys. When you get into Vroid, a lot of the stuff that's on there, you could basically kind of just figure out yourself. As I've shown you here, a lot of it is just so self-explanatory, with the different designs, I went into this thing the first time I used it. I didn't know how to use it, and I just started exactly what you're seeing me do here. I just started messing around with things, and I just figured everything out. And that's kind of how Vroid was made. Now, guys, you ever wondered how I put cat ears on these models, right? And that's part of my story. You go to an accessory, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna give her cat ears. We're gonna turn her into a guardian, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to do that. You click to add accessory. We're gonna go to furry ears, and we're going to click. You can either choose rabbit ears or cat ears, and there you go. You can move it back and forth. You can make it bigger. You can do whatever it is. It gives you a way to do it. Now we want her ears to blend in with her hair. We're going to click that magic marker, and we're going to click blend. Then afterwards, we are going to give her a little bit of fur to give it a little bit of realism. There you go. She can either have super big ears, you can mess with the parameters and make it bigger, or you can make them really small. It all depends on what you want. You can put negative parameter variables, and you can also be able to adjust any kind of size on the right. And as you can see here, I have put some cat ears on her. And if I wanted to, I could put a tail on her, but that's not easy to do. It's very difficult. It's not too difficult. You just have to have a little bit of knowledge on how to actually design, because to put a tail on her, you have to actually design it. And to be honest with you, I really don't go through the hassle of putting a tail on these characters. Some characters I have tails and some don't. So, and that's where you can just adjust her lighting, the rim shading, her different shaders, and all sorts of things. You can also do that with every single texture that you see here. You can adjust and edit the textures. You have to go within the category and click the texture itself and be able to mess around with it. And so, you know, you can see here, we're just going to be able to adjust everything else. These are the bones that they're referring to. You really don't have to do anything else from here on else. If you want to, that's up to you, but it's completely optional. Now we are going to export as VRM, and you're going to export it to the folder, to your designated folder for this model, right? So have a folder ready for her, and be able to export it to that folder when you're finished. Now this is just the final look to see how the model looks. That way I can be able to see if there's anything else. And then we're going to go to the next step after that. All right, so I'm going to click export. I'm going to go ahead and write my name. Write the name of her character. I'm going to call her example girl. And I'm going to put size stories as my name. And then we're going to go to export. Now, all of the stuff that you guys see here is if in case somebody wants to use your model. I don't really care if anybody uses my model or not. But I'm going to go ahead and click export. I'm going to go to the folder where I have it ready, an empty folder, name it. It's called YouTube video. We're going to click that. We're going to click that folder, and we are going to save it in there. And then now the model is going to port, and we are just going to go let that process go through. We're going to save the model after I finish creating her. If you don't save it, you won't be able to go back and mess around with the model and change her clothes in case you need it for another scene. Let's say if you want her to be in a scene where she's wearing pajamas, you want to be able to put those pajamas on her. So we're going to go ahead and save it and be able to come back to it another time. Push come to shove. So I put her in models, and I'm going to put her name. Now notice how it says Vroid. That's what the model is. It's designated as a Vroid model. Hold her example girl. It's going to save, and then it's going to close out. Okay. The next step, you see that folder right there where the folder is going to go. You're going to click where you saved the model to the folder. Excuse the mess on my desktop. We're gonna do something really cool for Blender. We're gonna rename the folder, the file, and we're gonna go to the VRM section. We're not gonna mess around with the example girl, and we're gonna call it GLB. G as in goodness, as in giantess, L as in love, and B as in I don't know, boy. And we're gonna change that to that, and then we're going to go to Blender. Okay guys, so now we're going to go into Blender. Namely, we are going to use the Steam version of Blender. You're going to go ahead and open up the Steam version of Blender and use that to be able to import your model. So if you haven't already installed that, go ahead and do so now. Now, the next step here is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to remove that little text screen in the box just by clicking anything else outside of it. And we're going to delete that little box there by right-clicking and clicking delete. Now that's it. Now we're going to go to our file. And we are going to go to import, and we're going to go to import GLB. You're going to see that there. We're going to go to our folder where we changed that file, our example girl. We're going to go to her folder on my desktop, as you can see the madness here. And we are going to click that example girl.glb, and we're going to import her. Now, as you see here, you notice that her textures are not there. Now, you can use the right side to scroll around. You see that little scroll wheel on the top right? You can use that to adjust. We're going to click that viewpoint shader thing on the top right, and you'll be able to see all of her textures appear. Now, as you can see here, this is her textures, and this is how it looks like. Next, we're going to go to scripting. We're going to go to where the script file is, and you are going to open the script that I showed you here in this video. You're going to press play, and you'll be able to see that it scripts and rigs the model correctly. You want to be able to do that to every single model. Afterwards, we're going to go to external data, go to unpack resources, write files to current directory over existing files, and that's going to put all of the textures within a folder in your Blender app. We're going to get to that in a minute. So this is for step 3 that we're going to go on to. After we've done that, now we're going to go to export. We're going to go to FBX, and we're going to go export the file back into your YouTube folder, the same folder that you took the girl from. Rename her, as if you can see in this video. And then we're going to go on to the top right there, hit copy on path mode, highlight that little small box next to it, and then we are going to export her as an FBX file. And then that's pretty much it, guys. We're done from here. We don't have to save. And then we move on to the third step. Now you see her folder over here. Now, if I did speak a little bit too fast, guys, just rewatch the video and watch it just kind of slowly. You can also get rid of the GLB file. You don't need it anymore. And now in that same folder where you had it before, now it's just example girl FBX. Now we are going to get her textures. We go to our hard drive, we go to program files 86, we go to Steam, we go to Steam apps, go to common. From here we go to Blender, we go to textures, and then we're going to highlight all of her textures. We're going to move them, not copy and paste it. We're going to just move all of them into that same folder. Okay? Where you have your FBX file. Forgive me if I am doing this a little bit sloppy, but I think you guys understand what I'm talking about here. Now it's empty. That's the Program 86 folder, and we're going to go ahead and close that out. We don't need it anymore. So then we're going to go to the Sizebox conversion tool, which you should also have installed onto your computer as well. And you're going to click the Sizebox SDK. Okay. Now you should, in my last video, you should read that that mega file where it shows you how to install that, right? But I'm going to put all of this stuff in the link in the description. That way you can follow the example here. All right. Now we got to give it time to open up. Now, don't mind what you see here. This is from previous conversion models. I'm going to go ahead and just delete that. That way I can make space for the next model that I'm getting ready to convert. All right, just give it here a second. Just give it a couple of seconds here. It takes a little bit of time. Okay. Now we're ready. So you should see GTS, micro, and object. And that should be what you see. We're going to go ahead and we're going to drag that folder, that same folder where you move the textures and where the FBX file are located, and we're going to place it under GTS. Nothing else. Put it in GTS because that's what we're going to convert. We're going to go ahead and click example girl, put her here, and I want you guys to see something here. Now, notice how her textures look kind of messed up. I wonder why. We're going to fix that. We're going to go to her materials, and we're going to remove the default settings that the Unity engine has placed on her textures. We're going to go to where it says rendering mode, click cutout, standard 2 sides, and you are going to do this to every single texture that you see in this box, as you see here. I'm going to let you guys watch me do this as this video plays out. Pay close attention to what you're seeing on the top right. and then look back at her model and notice how the textures are correcting itself. And just do that to every single texture. And just keep doing it. Make sure it's cut out. Hit cut out. Hit standard 2 side. And if you look in the middle of the model, notice how everything is correcting itself. Every model should have all of her textures, whether it be boy or girl, standard 2 side, rendering mode, cut out. And there we go. We are done with her model, and look how it looks good. Now it's not fully rendered, but it is completed. Now we're going to go to her rig, and we are going to rig her as a humanoid, and we're going to hit apply. Now you see that check mark. That means your model is ready to be converted. Super easy, super simple, and it's all ready for you guys to use. And that's the awesome thing about using these models, is that they're super easy to convert. Then we're going to export our model, and it's going to go into the Sizebox SDK folder, which is going to let us know if there's any issues. And there it goes. The model imported nicely, and it is ready to be used. We're going to go ahead and exit out from here, and then I'm going to go to we're going to transition to the folder on where it's located, which is located in the Sizebox SDK. We're going to open up where our Sizebox software is, and we're going to get ready to place the GTS file in there, and then I'm going to be able to just do it from here on out. Okay. Now, let's see. I have to look for the folder. I have so many folders here. It's kind of hard for me to tell. There it is. Okay. We'll go to Assets, go to Export, and we're going to find that same folder. It says YouTube video. Click YouTube video GTS. We're going to click that. We're going to move it right here into the conversion tool. We're going to, don't worry about this. This was because I had done it in a previous video that I was going to show it, but I never did. And then our model is ready to be used. So from here, we can just close out everything else and then activate Sizebox and get right to it. And you guys will be able to see for yourselves what the model actually looks like. So let's just give me a second here while I get that ready. Hit start. I'm going to choose a map that has the best lighting. Okay. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and see if we can find the model. Let's see. We can type it on the search, and there is our example girl. There she is. We're going to put her on the macro because that's what we want her to be. And there she is. Now, you guys see that little technical thing in the background? Remember in the previous video? We're going to fix that. We're just going to place a skybox. Put a little sky dome here. Put that's a little asset. Make it huge. And boom. There's a sky. We have a nice sky here. And that way they can cover that little technical issue in the back. Okay. And there she is. And there we go. We have our model. Now, you're going to notice that her textures are a little bit gray. So we're going to fix that, right? First, I'm going to T-pose her real quick. That way we can get a full view of what she looks like here. And we're going to fix that little grayishness on her textures by going to Materials. We're going to go to Edit, and you can see each and every texture comes with a number, right? You can mess around with her skin color even here, even on Vroid and here, but it's better on Vroid because it's part of the model itself. And now you notice how the texture looks nice and bright because I adjusted it and made it brighter. I select all, and I moved the little scroll wheel up, and that made her textures naturally bright. And so we're going to fix her bones, and I'm just going to do a little pose here. messing around with her bones here. And there it is, guys. This is your model. This is how you can convert and create a model. Has all of her morphs here, which makes it super easier. You don't have to actually move around the bones for her face. You can adjust to every facial expression. You can give her sharp cat teeth if you want to. All of that stuff is here on the side. Now, you see the stuff on the right, on the left. I could actually name those, but I just didn't do it for this video. But most of the time, I usually just leave it and I kind of figure out which is which. They all follow the same template design, where one is the top is generally her happiness. Either she can be sad or she can be surprised, or you can have her eye blink on one side or blink on the other. I've kind of gotten used to being able to do that without actually naming it. Some of my models does have it named, but I don't go through the hassle of doing it sometimes. It's just a lot of work. And so I generally just go by memory from what I know. But you could actually create and adjust the designs of her, of her clothes. You see me here, just kind of waving. I'm just kind of making her wave to you guys. Be here. And there she goes. She is waving to you guys. Well, guys, I want to go ahead and this will be the end of the video. This video is going to be super long. And it's not really what I want to post on here, but I do want to show you guys what you could do from creating stories. Now, the next video after this is going to show you, it's going to be a shorter video, and I'm going to show you what to watch out for if you are going to post giantess content on YouTube. Okay, now this is a super long video, but basically this is all I really wanted you guys to see, right? To see how I do it. Now, I will come back with another video, and we will discuss, very importantly, what not to do when you post on YouTube, especially when it's in regard to GTS content. All right, folks. So as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.